Hello everyone, and today I'll be reading Rise Lake's Listener by me. So let's get into it. He had only thought of doing this for your own good. Not that he thought he knew better, but he knew how it would end. He knew how things would be, and just how much you're sacrificing to be with him. He did not like Murapide, and that was fair. Not many people liked it, and that was perfectly fine. But he couldn't force you to live half your life with him in this place that you just did not happen to be comfortable in, just because you couldn't go back to the surface so much, with all that he had to take care of. He couldn't give up his life in Murapide, and his position as the Duke, the person who kept things in order. There was far too much to do, and far too many responsibilities to delegate to anyone else. And so, when faced with a choice, he knew it was a matter of just letting you suffer with him or setting you free. And although the choice may break your heart at first, it would be better for you in the future. You will hurt, and so will he, but maybe you will move on. Maybe you will find someone better on the surface, someone who will love you without demanding sacrifices from you, without demanding more than you could possibly give, just for his own selfish needs. It's what he wanted, but he wanted to give you what he wanted to grant you as your lover, the person who cared for you, and the person who couldn't allow anything bad to happen to you at all. He couldn't let you do this for him, not when he did not deserve it, so obviously. So he will do this. He will break up with you no matter how painful it may be, if it meant setting you free. And that's precisely why, right now you are crying, holding his hand. Wisely, you can't be saying this. You can't be possibly telling me that you'll leave right now. I need you. What do you mean you're just breaking up with me like that? How could you? How? You say, crying as you hold on to his hand, and he feels guilty and awful for it. He never wants to hurt you in this manner, but he feels as though he has no choice. Ayan, I'm sorry. It's not your fault, if you're about to ask. It never could have been. You're too good for any of this. So please, just go, he says. And you can tell there is no talking. You don't even know what made him arrive at this conclusion. But there is so much hurt. So much so that you can't even bring yourself to have the energy to talk to him. Not when you were originally here to see him and tell him the news of your pregnancy. Instead, you nod, not even saying goodbye as you went home, wondering how it all ended up with you and a child, now left alone. You didn't want to give up the child. That was not the thing that was in your brain. You had completely called off the idea, although it was one that you thought of, even if just for a small while. But you couldn't. And right now, you could only wonder what your child would feel like in the future without a father, with a father who refused to be there with him. Maybe you should have told him, but it felt far too humiliating, far too much. When he just left you like that, you couldn't force him to be with you just because of a child, no matter how much it could have meant to him. He wanted to leave you, didn't he? So it meant leaving you, and everything connected to you. Maybe you were being illogical, but that was what made sense for your heart at the time. And it was only many months later, when your belly was showing, that Risley got news of your pregnancy. And that's when he immediately left his office and searched for you. And he found you at a store and stopped you, holding your hand gently. Lion, we need to talk. Talk about what, Risley? There's nothing between us, nothing that we need to talk about. So please, just leave me alone right now. You can't just say that. There is something between us. Something more important than anything else. He says, and before you can even object, he's dragging you away in the secluded corner. Look, Ryan, I don't know why you didn't tell me this. It's been 5 months and you didn't even tell me about a child. How was I supposed to know? I found out through a friend. Do you even know how that means? To find out that I'm a father through someone else? Well, you left me. I was going to tell you on that day and you left. What did you expect me to do? To come back to you? To just kneel at your feet to get back with me? For our baby? I wasn't going to get back with someone who doesn't want me. And I didn't want to see you either. He flinched at that, realizing just how much he had hurt you, how much he had ruined things between you two, and why he needed to do so many things to make up for what he ruined. No, I suppose it's not fair for either of us. And I'm sorry for doing that. It was my fault. When I left you, I just didn't want you to be forced to stay in Murapide. That was all. Or feel like you were getting half the attention that someone else would be getting in a fair relationship. I didn't want you to feel stuck with me. That's why I left. Had I known that you would have needed me, that I could have done something, I would have never left you, Ion. And you know that, he said, looking into your eyes. And that's when you allowed yourself to break down because you've desperately been waiting for someone to help you and stand by you. And for him to have been looking out for you all along, even without saying a single word. That made your heart. It made you hold him closer, crying as he held you in his arms. You're okay now. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry. I know I ruined so many things and wasted so much time. But I want to fix things, and I promised I'll do my best to do that. Just give me a chance, okay? You nod, kissing him sweetly, and he wraps his arms around you tightly, carrying you and going back home. There was a lot he wanted to know about your baby. For example, if it was going to be a girl or a boy, what the name you picked out was, or if you're still going to pick out a name with him. What you need to do for the decorations for the room. And now, he would take care of you. Properly. You were still angry, of course. But there was a long time to talk about what made you upset, and to ask him why he chose this. For now, he just wanted the kindness that he would give you, and the love that you've been seeking for so long.